How many of you like pumpkin and roti? Especially parata roti with that pumpkin. Yep. Granny said cook like pop. It nice to bad. Right how you drop it, it stayed just so. Let me know how many of you remember this iconic dish here. So here I have a lovely piece of kabocha squash. This is a very hard skinned squash. The skin is very sweet and you could cook everything in this squash. You don't need to peel it. But I'm making some pumpkin and roti, and I know my Trini folks, if they see this thing looking kind of green, they will want to know, Jenny, what you doing with the pumpkin. So I'm going to give this a good wash. I'm going to use half of it. And let's give this a nice little slice, and I'm going to take off most of the skin from it. Now it's very hard, so be very careful. You could also zap this in the microwave for like 30 seconds. It will get a little tender, so the skin will be tender for you to peel if you peel it. You're using it in soup and pumpkin rice and all of that, you don't need to peel it. So let's just take those little seeds and some of the skin off. This is the way you're going to peel this. Slices on your cutting board, because you could get cut very bad. I see a lot of people come into the ER with cuts. Now this skin and seed, I'm going to put it in a pot, add some water, and I'm going to boil this down to a nice broth to add back into the pumpkin, because as I say, it cooked like parasat, like pap. It hard, so you need to add some liquid to it, and that's the liquid I'm going to infuse back. It's also great as a broth for if you cook in any dish, your soup and all of that. Nice little dice there, that looks well. Let's cut up our condiments, as we would say, or our, how would you say, infuse, what you're going to infuse it with. So I'm using some red onions or shallots. I'm going to use some garlic, and I'm going to slice up some habanero. I don't want to make it too spicy. That looks good. So now this is all we need to put into that pot. Simple dish, few ingredients. Let's get started. So here in my nice little oja or pot, up to heat, some oil in there, and I'm going to add all of this puran in there and let it get a nice little saute. I like the smell of the burnt garlic and onion, like burn up my nose a little bit. In goes some ginger garlic paste, and just cook that in there for like 2 minutes. Now let's add the pumpkin. In goes that, a little hint of sugar, some cumin powder or jeera as we would say, and a little hint of turmeric. You don't have to, it's nice and yellow, but turmeric is good, you know. And some salt in there. Give that a good little mix. Saute it and mix everything to combine very well. Turn the heat down to the lowest, because this is going to steam. Cover that pot and leave it there for like 10 minutes. Now let's open that pot. Look at that. It already started melting away. It drips some water off there into it, and just a little mash. Look at that. So simple and easy, so delicate. It just needs to be steamed. Now that broth that we had, and this is some nutmeg and pumpkin, they goes hand in hand. Put that broth in there, you see, just give it a little strain, crush it up, give it a little strain, put that liquid back in there, and just finish cooking it. It needs to be finished cooking. Cover the pot again, and we're going to leave it for another 7 minutes. Low and slow does it. Now let's give it a little mix and mash the rest of the pumpkin with the back of your spoon. Granny will say it like well pop. Look how it cooked nice. How you slam it on the plate, it stayed just so. Or it cooked like parasad. Leave me a comment how many of you remember those words from the old people, the way they will give a description to this pumpkin. Simple and easy, do it. Some parata or bus up short roti, and there you go, a nice cup of tea. Enjoy.